speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks, paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just the mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their picks are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the line. It's all
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock, and I said I was going to start the show about that time. I don't have anyone yet to join me, so I am on my own at the moment. But good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a good Saturday. It's a kind of a reflection time for us parents over the weekend to get our heads on straight. Get things moving, get things motivated. Debbie, I just want to touch base on your daughter sending that email. Make sure that when she's emailing, she's also asking for visits, because every time that you ask for visits, it resets the clock. So they cannot TPR you. So every time she requests to see her child, it will go from no request to another 6 months. So every time you request, it delays the process of them trying to TPR. So just keep that in the back of your mind, you and Chris, because that will help you guys in the long run. I don't know who else is going to be joining me tonight, whether Herbert's going to pop in, or if Danielle's going to join me. That it's unknown at the moment. But if you guys will bear with me tonight, I'm still under the weather a little bit. So I'm kind of off kilter a little bit. But I would like to just kind of go over a few things with you guys that I've been noticing throughout cases, by everyone talking. The major part is the violation of due process of law. CPS is very known for violating due process of law. So are the courts. They don't seem to realize that that is a constitutional right, and we do have that right. The other right is the right of the parents, which is going to come into play as soon as Trump is in office. He said he was going to restore our parental rights to the Constitution. That even includes in school. So I just heard that Danielle is going to join me. Oh, I got Mr. Darren. How we doing, Mr. Darren?
The other right, hey, Vinny. The right of the parents.
Yes, sir.
It's going to come into play. Hey, Vinny. As soon as Trump is in
Yep.
I'm coming.
All right, you're coming in. Danielle's coming on too.
All right, I'll be there in a minute.
All right.
All right, see ya.
See ya. So I guess we're gonna have Darren join and Danielle's gonna join, so that will be good. But yes, there is a lot of talk of Trump doing things and making moves. I've been seeing a lot of posts that he is going to be putting the wall back up. So let's hope for that, and we deport all these aliens out of here. Because we're as parents, we're not getting the help because they're helping all these other people. Um, and that's wrong for them to be, leaving all of us that live here in the States and not helping us with services or housing, but they're willing to put these other people up that not are not even from here. So that to me is very, I don't know what I would say, very very something, but it should not be happening. Why are immigrants above people that are born of the US? I do not understand that. It should be the other way around. The US citizens come first over these foreign people. Um, hey Tammy, how are you doing? It's good to see you here. Oh, there's Danielle. She's coming. Let me get her in here. Danielle, you with us?
What's that? Yep. Yep.
So I gotta ask
It's
Danielle, what do you think on Trump's policy as far as restoring our parental rights?
um refresh me on it. Like what is his policy? Like what is on
He,
restoring? I mean, what is he saying?
he said that when he got into office, the first thing he was gonna do is restore our constitutional rights as parents.
I think no, in my opinion, because I can put my views in. I didn't get to vote because I am a felon, but I will get the vote as soon as I get off probation. So yay!
I don't see. I don't
But
understand how you cannot vote as a felon, seeing how all of our founding fathers were felons.
mhm. Well, they, and well, let me the Trump with his policies and restoring our parental rights and everything, I believe that it is a priority of his, but it's going to be in the works. Like I believe that it's not going to happen like right at the, you know what I'm saying? Like I know it's a priority, yes, but I feel like it's not going to be like a sudden thing, because there's so much, and with
Well,
him
yeah,
going.
there is a lot that he's gonna have to peel back and do, and
Right. Well, and also you got to think of all the parents and all the people that are going to go into these courts all at one time as soon as he gets in. I mean, there's already people talking about filing this and that, and I mean, the courts are going to be so overwhelmed. I mean, over like like with everybody's appeals and complaints and everything, petitions, all that. And I think that it's going to be a working. It's going to be yes, I do believe he is going to do it, but it's going to be a working progress. If you get what I mean, like it's going to have to be like not really baby steps, but it's going to have to be approached like in a stepping stone type thing. You get what I mean? Like it
yeah,
can't be just a snap of the fingers and hey, it's good. No, because there's a lot of gray areas with this whole parental rights and the Constitution and family courts and juvenile courts. There's so much room for error. He's gonna. I have a feeling he's gonna he's gonna approach it in a stepping stone type of way. Like that's because he with that with everything that's going on with the kids and protecting our children and families and all the corruption, there's it's kind of like he has to pick and choose his battles, you know what I'm saying? Because he's up going against a lot, and then you got the other what is it, the blue side, that you look, I'm gonna tell y'all, I do politics, but I don't do politics because I'm a felon, so I can voice my opinion, but it's never been like it's there, but it's not. You get what I'm saying, y'all? Like it's been there, but it's not there, So I mean, with me, I think there are certain things with Trump and that I do like, yes, and but I can't vote, so it's like people look at me like they were felons for signing the Declaration of Independence. They were
well,
felons.
look at Trump. He's a felon.
Well, he hasn't been convicted. He's been charged, But
Right, but I mean that goes all with saying. I mean, look at me. I'm in this situation where um I've been formally charged, but I've not been convicted,
right.
and I'm being looked at
Yeah.
as
You're
I've been
already
convicted.
right. It's like you're already like just by being charged or indicted, it's like people automatically judge. I mean, people automatically put a title with it and like judgment on it, like a statistic. Like it's like when I did what I did back over a decade ago, it was like I became a statistic instead of. But I worked hard to become that success story, you know. And it sucks being just a number, like that people could automatically. I mean, they're so quick to judge, so quick, and it's like
I'm kind of happy to see though that Title 40 funding is no longer funding these states. Now it's the state funding DHS, which is fraud.
right, right, and they like what's crazy is as a matter of fact, I'll even tell y'all. So I've been in touch with child support, and I had there was a case open on my son, and I filed on myself in 2017, 2018, and I had to file. So just think, my kids have been with the guardian since 2011, right? So child support. What was that? That sounded like a chipmunk or something. What was that? Oh, sorry.
It,
I thought that
sorry.
was. No, you're good. It sounded like one of those funny meme things. Sorry.
No, it's my scanner.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like one of the little memes that laughs. I don't even know. Look, just ignore me, y'all. So,
I tell everyone on here, you might want to look into investing in a two-way radio or a
mhm,
scanner that does both. That way you
mhm.
can listen in on every frequency
Yep.
that they have statewide.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised what you hear on them things. Like it's crazy. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, like around here in Georgia, the police departments and the sheriff's departments want you to they give it, it's an option, but you can share like your home security system with them, like the cameras and like your outside cameras. And in a way that's like a hit or miss. Like it's like, wait a minute, I know we're safe, and it's for like the neighborhood, like your neighborhood, the crime watcher thing. And
Yeah.
if like say if something ever happens, but then again, like that would be your privacy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but then again with CPS, you get no privacy. I felt like I
Oh,
mean,
they found a way to access your stuff anyways. I was actually reading a post the other day that said that when CPS emails you, okay, they
mhm.
automatically can attach themselves to your IP address.
Yes, yes, and they can go in and oh yeah, I
And
see.
there's a way to
Mhm.
look at that and trace it back to
Yep,
the original source.
yep, yep. And I'll tell y'all recently in my situation with my son, I found out that he has there's a new caseworker on it. So like, when were we going to be informed of this? Like I mean, she's now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to judge her yet. She's so far when I talked to her, which has only been like one day. The conversation went well, but let's see how it goes because she says she's only been over the case like not even 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens. So that tells you right there that the other caseworker was all about. I mean, I can tell you right now, she's involved in a bunch of schemes.
You know why they changed the caseworkers? Because the worker you had wasn't doing her job to what
No,
they expected. So now they got to put it on someone else and make them try to do their job
right,
because
and
the supervisor doesn't want to do their job. They're just trying to make that money,
mm-hmm,
and that's all they care about.
right, and that I mean, it was taken, and it's with my son being 19 and him being an adult. It's like they're looking at it. It's like they're throwing the whole situation, like throwing it around everywhere. Like he's just in limbo, and I'm like, well, why can't we just go out there and get him? Like, I mean, screw the plane, screw the behavioral whatever that's going to ride the plane with him. We'll go out there and pick him up. And Paul Revere was going after Samuel Adams. Tammy
Yep.
said, yeah.
Yep.
And so like with 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 my son, I mean, and then on top of that, there was there was someone in this facility that works there that has been nitpicking on my son, and my aunt caught on to that, and
Yeah, I do
my
too.
son,
Yep.
and it's crazy how these people can just pick on these kids for no reason. So, you
It's
know,
because they don't care. All
no,
they care about is funding their pocket and funding these corrupt judges and
yeah,
funding these corrupt ADAs and
hmm,
DAs because I'm digging, and the more I've been digging, the more I'm finding in Maine about
yep,
corruption.
yeah,
And I actually found this post today, and
Georgia.
I kind of
Georgia's
want to.
hadn't even been on the radar. Like, I don't see how Georgia is so quiet. Like, I haven't heard nothing, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, what is? And I mean, I wonder if the governor's like trying to cover up Candace Broche because she's the director out here, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. There was
Right
that
here.
face. Go ahead. Sorry.
Former Maine prosecutor admits to destroying evidence.
Oh shit. Wow. Did you hear about the three? Oh wow. Really? Is
Mhm.
that is that what they were talking about on the news here recently? Like in the last week? Or did you?
Um, well, I also found. Let
And
me
it's time to come together
listen.
across ideologies, across parties. It's time to unite to fix our democracy. Because regardless of where our politics fall, at the grassroots, the American people don't deserve to pay taxes to a system that is rigged against them. Fuck that.
That's what's up. Hey, I
That
would say that at that too. Like yes, like screw them, because I gotta watch my mouth sometimes. Yeah. They had. Did you hear about the three teachers that were special education teachers that were abusing these special needs kids in school?
Oh yeah,
And they
and
got, yeah, and then it's crazy.
I want to iterate, and I'm going to bring this up so I can read it to you guys. This is perpetrators of maltreatment. Okay, while in custody of CPS parents, number of cases per 1,000 children in the United States. These numbers come from the National Center of Child Abuse and Neglect, NCCAN, in Washington.
Hmm.
Physical abuse in CPS, 160. Parent, 59. Okay. Sexual abuse, CPS custody, 112. Parents, 13. Neglect, CPS custody, 410. Parents, 241.
Mm.
Medical neglect, CPS custody, 14. Parents, 12. Facilities, 6.4%. Parents, 1.5.
Jeez. So them numbers, I mean the numbers, and it's, you talk about numbers, there has been nationwide in the whole US, there has been a spike in the kids that are removed from homes. There's been a big jump in it. Like in the they've been removing more and more kids. I thought we're supposed to be reducing this. I thought they were supposed to be working on reunifying these kids with their families and working on, like, where is it going backwards here? Where is it not moving forward with dropping the numbers? And I read that and I'm just like, okay, well, you hear the Senate talk about families first and kinship. And then, well, what about, why can't we get these families the services? Why can't this money that's going to these people's pockets where they're banking off our kids, why can't they help the family get to where it needs to be? Like, because that's what I thought, from my understanding, when my case first started out, that's what I thought was the whole behind it all, like to help me get back to where I could take care of my family, help me
That
in the
is what
areas
it,
that I
that is
struggle
what
with.
it that is what it was set up for. But because CPS wants that money, and the
Mhm.
judges want that money, and the ADAs want that money, it
Yep.
became a
Well,
fraud scheme for them.
well, think about it. Like with my son, the more and more I think about with my son, they're just getting that money, and he's just for how, I mean, he's there, and they don't do nothing. I mean, the caseworker, they don't, I mean, nobody talks to him. The guardian ad litem barely, I mean, I talk to him every day. And then now my aunt can call. Thank God. Now she's able to call. And she's been, look, when I tell you the one that helped me get him, it is helping me. She has been on them like, let me, whoo, like, what, whoo. And I mean, she is not taking no crap because she sees what I went through now. And she's going through it. She went through it herself. And the female judge was named Knockerballs. And that's why is it always the female judges? There's a judge in the county that I'm from that I don't know what she's got a. Has anybody ever heard of the juvenile court files being on the same floor as the juvenile court? Like this county moved in 2021 or 2022. They got all the files put on the juvenile court floor, and then they covered the window with like that tent to where you can't. I mean, but they've never. But I mean,
Yeah,
would that
they
be
did
not?
that here too. All the
Did
windows are
they?
tinted, so you can't see
Is the
in.
files up there? Like
I
where
have
they
no clue.
see? Because would that not be easy access for them to get rid of something? Like kind of like in my case, like my son's situation, the original guardianship case, like when back in 2011. Where's it at? Like, why isn't anybody looking at that? Like, they act like there was non-existent. Like there was certain things that had to be abided by. Because I can tell you right now, my due process rights have been violated. A lot has been violated. Like, because they could have prevented foster care if they did their job. They could have. All this would have never started. But now, like, it's gotten pretty. And then child support. That's another thing. Let me tell you, these people are trying to tell me that I don't live at the address that been at for 5 years. Like that the process server told them that I don't live there. I said, and who is this person talk to? Because I've been at the same address for over 5 years. But they suspended my license. And but yet I have complied with trying to mediate with my aunt. I even finished my parenting class that they referred me for and everything. And the aunt that has my daughter, the one that started all this with my son, she said she wants nothing to do with me and she is not going to cooperate with the program. So why? Okay, so if that's the case, I mediated. Why are they still suspending my license? Like I'm cooperating and I'm trying to make, but she is just not, she's shutting it down. And I don't think that's right. But like the courts are going with her. I mean, they're not really going with her side, but it's all lies. And I mean, what sucks is with these kids in juvenile court or family court, it's like one party's automatically judged right before you even walk in the courtroom. And tell me, how is somebody supposed to testify against themselves? So can somebody please tell me this? Like, I'm Marie and I'm Danielle. So Marie's supposed to testify against Danielle. Like, you know how stupid that sounded in the courtroom? It was like the most like.
Well, it's even funnier when I'm looking over this court order that they brought up for the Jeopardy hearing. It says placement. The current placement with resource caregivers are necessary and appropriate. The children are safe in their current represented placement. Relatives. Listen to this shit, okay? There are no relatives with whom the children may be placed, which is fucking bullshit.
And that's look, and I can pull up the petition for my son, and they said that there was no relatives willing or able to care for my son that were gonna, and that was a complete lie because look at now, my aunt and uncle they stepped up to get him, and they were never contacted or nothing, just because this family member told them that there was no family. Like that's where they're going by all these anonymous people that are making these calls and all this hearsay. I mean, if you go to the criminal side of the courthouse, I'm telling you right now, you can't go by hearsay. No, you better have your facts and your findings, and you better have a substantial amount of evidence to back up your allegations or whatever, to back up your case. but in family court or juvenile court, there's so much. I mean, hearsay. Come on, that's like my word against yours.
It's
That's
because the bar is lower when it comes
right.
to hearsay
And
in a
there's
civil
so
case.
much room for play, and that's what's crazy. That's what sucks.
Darren, if
And
you want to join us, you can bring yourself out.
and then these people, like, let's see what I'm trying to see. Wish I had my notebook here, but my big notebook. But hey,
what's up?
yeah, what's that? Nothing, just same old stuff. I'm learning Chat GPT to help me with my documents and stuff. And that actually is a really good thing to use for case laws and stuff. I love
Listen,
it.
I will tell you after the show what you should be doing for that stars
Okay.
stuff goes. I'll give you something that'll blow your mind. You'll be like, what? Why have I been wasting time with ChatGPT?
Right. Yeah, it is. Look, I start out doing like my looking into and getting my stuff wrote up, and then I end up creating a song or something. Like my ADD is so bad.
Right.
I'll start doing just random stuff because you get on there and explore and it gets fun. I mean, sometimes, I didn't know when I upgraded to that plus plan or whatnot, it creates pictures and everything. Like, it's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
there's
about what you've been there for.
right.
No, life's pretty good actually. I came in here to write a motion towards getting my kid back. Now I'm drawing a cartoon, and I'm gonna get.
Right. That was me the other day.
Everyone thought it.
So
Yep.
I want to read to you guys some stuff that I found to put in your case laws. Timms versus Indiana 2019. The excessive fine clause of the 8th Amendment is an inappropriate protection application to the state under the 4th Amendment due process clause.
And that's for the federal, the U.S.
It's a federal case, yeah.
Okay.
So you can put federal case law within your motions. I've found other ones I'm looking through here because I got they're getting 10 pages of a motion.
Yeah, I got an open records request that I've been filling out, put case law in that, and I think the case law takes up like 4 pages. It's state and federal.
State versus DA, 188, New Jersey won in 2006. The case highlighted the importance of direct evidence in a SAC case. The New Jersey Supreme Court ruled that relying solely on hearsay statements made by the victim to others did not meet the burden of providing the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
There you go. And have y'all ever requested with CPS or DFCS like your case file?
I have tried to request my case file, and they told me I have to come in person to look at it. And I told my attorney, I said, you listen to this, because I am never stepping foot in their building.
Right.
The only time I would step foot in their building is if they were completely out of that building.
I have a template I can send you that has the case law and everything with it for federal, and I can find the one. I know it's got the Georgia for state, but I can look at the Maine, and I'm telling you, like, they have to, if you're the biological parent, they have to yeah. Let me pull it up. Hold on. But a lady that's an attorney wrote this up. Like, she's really good. I've been in this class thing, just like a support group, because sometimes we need it with all this going on. Because think about it, we automatically have PTSD going through something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like anxiety.
Well, yeah, because all this does cause us parents a lot of emotional stress.
Yeah.
It causes depression.
Right.
It definitely causes anxiety, according to
the anxiety is so crazy.
My counselor, because it states, and on my report it states anxiety due to CPS.
Yes, and then traumatized, I mean, and you got to think about all the feelings, like the parts of like feeling unwanted, unappreciated, unheard. I mean, just imagine what these kids are going through. Like my son, when I called him today in the middle of the day, and it because I'm gonna switch up the times I call him, because I've noticed a change in this place. The more that is closer to him coming home, the worse it's getting. I'm gonna tell you straight up, like it's crazy, and I'm done. I'm over it. I'm about to file this emergency, the writ of habeas corpus thing. I forgot what it's called. Look, my wording, my terminology is not good. I know what it is, but my language is like, ugh. But
It's a writ of habeas corpus.
it's called the what the heck? Hold on, I got it wrote down. I had it wrote down. I don't have my notebook here with me because it's so much.
But you're slacking, Danielle. You're
I
supposed to have
know.
everything like right where you can get at
I
it.
know it's a little bit everywhere because I've been on the road a lot and stuff, and then I finally got my brother's, like, finally his Social Security process is moving along, so he'll be going to the doctor and getting. So I'm glad about that because he needs to. I don't understand how they cannot give him insurance, but this is what the DFC the DFAC said about my brother. They said if he's got an open Social Security claim, they can't give him insurance because so I have to pay out of pocket for his medical, and he's got a lymphedema he was born with. It's hereditary. He's had that his whole life, and then his the physical and the mental that came about in 2014. So, I mean, he's got to see a psychiatrist. He's supposed to see his primary care doctor, and then he's supposed to see like a physical therapist, I guess it's called. And that, I mean, my little income ain't. I mean, it's that's expensive,
So Darren, I gotta get this out there. The other day, Friday, no, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. We were trying to get you on the show, for the one with Tiff and Punisher, because Wendy was on there and she was talking about North Carolina.
Oh, was she? Ooh.
Yep.
Because I've said
that's what was
it's
going
bad.
on there, and
yeah,
we were trying to get you on there so you could express what you seen when you were there.
Oh, it's horrible. And also, I've also, from what caught my eye, what started me with North Carolina was TikTok. Like the people that would get this drone footage and the stuff you would see. But now, even after going up there, now it's even worse. Like these people are still missing. I mean, but what's even worse now is, how it was like everybody was helping at the beginning, and then now they're calling for these volunteers and these places to the shelter, and then what else? Like the places to feed people, like all that setup they had, and everybody left, and now they're really needing it back again. And I mean, North Carolina is being shut out, and I mean, I'm sure we all know why, but it's crazy because why? Don't do that to these people. They've already been through enough. And then CPS coming in and giving them 10 days to get a place is bullcrap. The CPS should be providing resources and providing the shelter for them families, and families with kids or families with elderly or disabled. I mean, hello, you got APS and CPS. What's up? Because there is an adult protective services. So what's up with that? I mean, and a lot of people over there are disabled or they're elderly. So why aren't they stepping up and taking care of these people? Because it's crazy what they're doing, and it's wrong. It's wrong. But it's not. I can tell you right now, the people of the United States is not going to let it happen. I mean, I'm sorry. These kids. I'm glad. Did Wendy go up there herself? Or has she been up there? Or does she live up there?
I don't know if she went out there herself or not. I didn't go into detail with her. I don't know if Darren did or not. Darren is the only one that can speak on that part.
Well, if you hear anything about like, I can tell you right now that, okay, so like Chimney Rock to Bat Cave, or that little the roadway that was there, those were, they say the government is the one that did the construction to fix that, to connect it again, to get back and forth, like to make it accessible. No, that was some boys. That was some boys from West Virginia. Like, let me tell you, everything that is being done out there is all people, the community, the people from out of state. This is not. This is the people. This us,
Yeah,
like people like us. This
they're saying that they can't even get water out there right now because their
no.
water is highly contaminated.
Right, and they're getting, what they're doing is, but I mean, I was shocked, and I mean, it was awesome that how many people did step up. Like, wow, never in my life of knowing, and as long as I've lived in the United States, never have I seen that. I mean, these people were out of coming, but there was so many scammers too. Like, I mean, people acting like they're going. I mean, they were milking it. Like, and it's crazy that now these are people. I mean, just think, when you're walking, you could be walking over a body, like people underneath there. I mean, there was little kids, out there. I mean, it was bad. It was something that nobody wants to see, and it's going to linger in people's minds for a long time that were around it, that seen it, and that's not something anybody wants to see. I mean, just the videos alone were enough, but then like in person, it's even, and the smell, it's just horrible. Like, and I feel for those people. Like, and I mean, I would be sitting right here and I'd be like, man, I felt like a big pull towards North Carolina, and that's not, I mean, and I wanted to be there with them, because I mean, I still want to be there with them, like, there's so many people up there, and these are people's land that they've had their whole life, that's handed down from generation to generation. And just to think that they're about to, I mean, I don't know what everybody's thinking about, like, if they're going to lose it or what. I mean, they got to have permits. They got to have this. They got to have that. Let them people get up on their feet. How would they feel? I mean, and I don't understand how they could be so hateful and just so cold. And then the Amish step up, like, that's what's up too. Like, what? That was that was awesome.
Yeah, that was good to see that they stepped up and came in with all these buildings
They got
to help these people.
They got a 3-month contract out there to build those shelters and those homes, and they go on Monday. They go to work. They go back Mondays and they work till Friday, and then they all pack up and go back home on Friday just to refresh, get organize, and clean themselves up and take care of their land or whatever. And then they get ready and they go back Monday and they work their week. And they said, I mean, they are like doing it like that. Like, they are, look, the Amish, that's what's up. And then they went and voted, I think. I heard.
Well, yeah. The Amish actually
like, did
voted.
did you see, there was like a bunch of them, like, and that was, did you hear about the raid that was on their land up in Pennsylvania, I believe it was?
Yeah.
The Department of Agriculture went there and tore it. I mean, damaged their food and everything. And Amish, like, they got heart. I mean, and they don't bother nobody. Like, they're not out here trying to cause problems. I mean, in my eyes, they're trying to do good. And I've never met an Amish person that does have a bad heart. Like, no, they've always I mean, everything that, I mean, there's people out there that has had the Amish work for them, and they have done a very good job at as like putting in a set of stairs or something. It's sturdy because they put heart into what they do. They like doing it, and they like helping people.
I guarantee you that came down from CPS. They're the ones that called because they don't want these people to get help. They want to be able to take these kids away from these families, because these families have no home. They have nothing because of this flood. Well, I hate to tell them, North Carolina wasn't the only place that got really screwed. Florida got screwed.
Yeah.
Florida got screwed hard.
South Georgia, I was watching, I didn't know that Augusta, Georgia got messed up pretty bad, in Richmond County, Georgia. And then Statesboro was flooded, and I didn't know all that. And that's like my home state, Georgia's my home state. And I mean, but then now they're saying Missouri or something is flooded, and I don't know how true. I mean, I don't know if it's. I saw that today, but they say in some other places were flooded. Like South Carolina was flooded now or something. Maybe that's just a. Have
No,
y'all?
there's been other floods everywhere. Like I was seeing over across the seas that they're dealing with flooding and mudslides out there.
Spain. I think it's
Yep.
Spain or Italy. Yes, and it is
Yep.
horrible. It's horrible. It is so bad over there. It's like I think it was Italy or Spain. I mean, the way it was coming off the mountain, like North Carolina was bad, but over there, oh my goodness. And it was, and they had a bunch of hail too that messed up a lot. But I mean, without warning, like, and their levees haven't even broke either. Or the things, and they're getting rid, like it can't handle the water weight.
And then you look at what's going on in California right now. They're getting buried under snow.
Oh, is that what's going? See, our whole man, and then there's another Hurricane Raphael out there.
Yeah, that's coming across the seas. Yep.
And I don't know which way it's going. If it's going towards the Panhandle or if it's going towards Texas. So I hope it don't go towards Texas because my son's right there.
Yeah, I know that's where Gunner is too. He's right along them lines. He borders between North Carolina and Texas. So
yeah, because my son is right there near Galveston, Texas, and he's like on the other. He's near Pelican Island. I think it's Pelican Island. He's in League City, and it's right there. Like it's. I mean, I used to live on in Crystal Beach, Texas, but a hurricane wiped. Like when I tell you, it wiped the whole island, like the Bolivar Peninsula out. It wiped it all out. Like when I was out there, it was over. Like it was. I mean, my car was gone and everything. This was like 2004, I think, and it was just there was nothing.
So I want to read to you guys something that Herbert forwarded to me. I think it was this morning. I just seen it a little while ago, and I was looking it over. It says CPS workers are not allowed to carry firearms. In fact, many countries have policies that prohibit CPS workers from carrying weapons and require them to ask about guns and storage during assessments. CPS buildings are also usually weapons free. Some people believe that giving CPS worker guns would make them feel unsafe. For example, one student said that they would feel unease if they saw a CPS vehicle following them, and that giving CPS workers guns would increase their anxiety. So he said CPS workers will not be allowed to carry firearms. They can call police if they feel in trouble.
Wow.
Vinny, what's that first sentence say? I think first or second sentence there.
It says CPS workers are not allowed to carry firearms.
And then go into the building part.
Oh, that prohibit CPS workers from carrying weapons and require them to ask. CPS buildings are usually weapons free.
Right Usually.
Doesn't mean it's all the time.
Means that that's their door to make it open and start. I'm telling you right now, how are they not going to start carrying firearms when these people are getting attacked by these people? This is it. Or the next thing is they're going to take your guns. They're going to take your weapons from you if you're a parent that's involved in a CPS case.
Especially where Maine is an open carry state.
Yes.
All right. Hello.
Hey, Herbert.
Hello.
Hey, Herbert.
Hi. Hey guys. I just want you to know. I spoke to Darren earlier. He knows about it. I have a CPS worker, and she will come on the show.
Okay, it's cool.
What I'd like to do today is ask you. She's from Kentucky. She's either just finished working, or she's worked there, or she's done a lot of years. She's taken children. She's done all of that. She went through the whole kit and caboodle. And I invite her to come on to the show. Well, what I want to do, and she'll come on maybe next week, what I'm going to do right now is I would like if we could direct this show in the direction of our concerns about CPS and CPS workers. For example, Darren, I did ask her about increases. She says, nope, there's no such thing. I said, wait a minute. Don't you guys get extra money if you take kids out of the home? And the answer was, no, we don't get no extra money for anything like that.
I thought they
Herbert,
get
So-
you asked the
bonuses.
question wrong. You
So-
asked the question all the way wrong.
No,
They
that-
don't
guess
get
what?
any
Guess
money.
what?
Listen to me. They don't get any money for taking the kids out of the homes. You're absolutely right. What they get money for is adopting these children at a rapid pace. The only way you get
Good.
that money is if you take
Good.
a kid out of the home and go to adopt
Yes.
them. So you can't just sit
Okay.
there. They're not going to ever say that they get a bonus for removing them. It's never going to happen.
Okay. All right. What else is it you want to say? Because I'm going to send her the recording of this, so she'll be well aware of how we're going to approach
You
it.
don't need to send it to her. She can come on the channel anytime she wants and watch every show that we have. There's 290 episodes.
I'm asking, what are some of the things? What are some of the other things we have concerns about with CPS? Because she's going to hear this tonight. I'm sending her the show tonight.
Yeah.
So what other concerns?
Here's a question you can ask her from me, Herbert.
No, you're actually asking her right now. She's going to
Okay.
get this recording tonight.
All right. Well, then she needs to be asked, why is CPS violating our constitutional rights, and why are they violating due process of law?
Okay.
And also, why are the what I just had it. Hold on. The reasonable efforts to prevent foster care. What is her way, like her policies and procedures when she was working to exhaust all reasonable efforts? Why are they just throwing these kids straight into foster care without exhausting these reasonable efforts, or finding family, doing their kinship search or their relative search, and they're supposed to do a search the whole time, and they're not doing it? Why are they getting away with just automatically going straight to foster care and being able to falsify these documents to take these children? And not, I mean, that's the biggest thing. They want to violate our due process, our constitutional rights, but yet they're not even, it's kind of like the doctrine of unclean hands. Like they are doing dirty stuff. And I mean, you can't, they're not looking out for the best interest of the child. I know that. Or it's supposed to be families first, not families divided. I'm sorry. Like, that's why like in Georgia, it's Department of Human Services, Division of Family and Children Services. Well, I mean, I thought that they were supposed to be all about reuniting these families and getting them back strong to where they can handle, like, take care of their family. Like, that's what I was told from the beginning of my case, and it was never like that. My son was straight up thrown in. I mean, and how are they? My other thing is, how are they going by hearsay? How can they have a case open against these families based on straight up hearsay? They do not have firsthand knowledge. I don't understand how they can testify in court firsthand knowledge when they do not have firsthand knowledge of anything. I mean, they're not. I mean, that's, yeah. And oh yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Okay, I have another one for her that has to do with, can they take a child out of the house without a warrant from a judge?
It's got to be an imminent danger, don't it? Like, it's yeah. Okay.
Then the other question, that's Darren's question, which is what's considered imminent danger.
Exactly. Because I'll tell you right now, my son there is a protective removal, but come to find out, on the actual protective removal itself, it says that, and it wasn't even from me, it was from the aunt that started all this, that they removed my son from her, which why he was in her care, I still don't know till this day, but I'll find out. But and that the reason why he was removed was because my daughter, my aunt was already taking care of one of my children that was special needs, which my daughter is not special needs, just saying. She's 17 now, and she's never been diagnosed with any diagnosis of that. And then on top of that they said that they were going through a death in the family, which was my mother, and taking care of my son was too much. But then come to find out, the reason why they actually removed my son was because my aunt said he was a danger to her life, which is a total joke. Like, so they made my son sound, and the guardian ad litem told family this, me and my family, that's what, and he's like, well, he don't act like that. He's very sweet. And what they said that he did is he's not a danger. Your son's not aggressive, nothing. But how could they just falsify that stuff? Like, I don't understand that. My daughter's
They
not
always
special needs. How?
It's because they falsify information to get the removal, and that's what they
Right.
do.
But yet but yet it's against me when apparently my aunt said that I abandoned my kids 10 years ago. No, I didn't. She was never involved with my son. But they ran with it. How could she say that there was no family willing or able when they didn't even make an effort to? But when I finally found where my son was, I told them I have family. My son, we got a big family, and that's what made a bunch of my family mad, is that they didn't even know my son was in foster care. I was so like up in a roar trying to find my son where he went, because he was stripped from my parents' house the day my mom died, and that was the last time I seen him until I'd seen him at a park when he was with DFCS.
That's the same with my child. They were stripped from my parents' house, mind you. When they took my children, I was nowhere's in this state. Okay, I was out of state when they took my kids. I wasn't even in Maine. I had gone to another state to go stay with some friends, and I got a phone call from the missus saying they took the kids. They're not here. Well, why did you take my kids from my parents' home without a warrant, without a court order, and you were able to get away with this?
Right.
I do not think so.
Right. And that's like, my case has been going on 2 years, and they called me for the first hearing, like when they took him into custody. They called me. I was in Florida getting my brother at the time, and they called me like an hour and a half before the actual time of the hearing. Like, I didn't even know. It's like there was a memorial for my mom that my aunt had, and then it's like right after that, supposedly she took my son up and threw him to the state and told him that he was just a danger to her life, and she felt like she was in danger, and I figure she would do something like that. I figures, like, I kind of figured that, because that's what I'm surprised she probably has a protective order against me, or TPO, which, okay, and I don't know. I guess it's imaginary with her, because I don't even know. Don't even get me started.
Well, for them to issue an order, they said that it was issued that day. Come to find out, that order was not issued until 5 days later.
Yeah, and they're doing everything ex parte, I believe, in a lot of these cases, like to where they don't have to notify the other parent or the other party.
They didn't even give me a copy
what's
of
something
the
else?
petition.
Right.
I never had one until my attorney sent it.
Okay, so Vinny, what else is it that you would talk to this person about, like concerns about with CPS? Think.
For the simple fact of a parent telling you cannot enter their home, and you still come in their home after they tell you no, is against my rights. Okay, and that caseworker should have her ass fired.
And how can they show up like unannounced at a home without a court order, unannounced, like somebody's on probation, and when that's civil and probation's criminal? Like, I don't get that, because they've showed up at my house unannounced and told me I had an unannounced court order, and I have no idea. Still haven't seen it. It's been over a year and a half. Like, what I would all right, this is another thing. These records, the CPS records that the parents need access to or need to get. How can a parent have a full and a fair hearing or be able to participate in these child welfare cases because they have to have access to the relevant documents. They should have access to the whole case just like CPS does. I mean, but CPS wants to withhold records, and that's interfering with rights to due process and parental control. Like we can argue, and why do they do that? That's kind of automatic. Like, what are they hiding? Because I mean, if we're the biological parent and we have our rights to have full access, like if we have decision making in the medical and the educational and stuff, why don't we have a right to have a fair hearing? Like in my eyes, there's two sides to every story. But why in family court, what I've seen on the criminal side, when I went through my whole thing in 2011, there was two sides to every story, and it was fair, and and it played out like it should have, and it was done correctly. But when you go over here to the family court side, which what I've experienced, it's not ever. I tell you what, being the parent, being like having the allegations against you, you're automatically guilty, and it's crazy. I
wouldn't say it's fair in both cases, because you know what? On CPS's side, they see me as guilty, and according to the criminal side, they're choosing me as guilty as well, because you know what? I can't see my kids. They will not relinquish my bail to me being able to work, me being able to see my kids. That's a constitution violation right there in itself.
Why? I don't understand how you're supposed to provide for your family if they're hindering you from being a successful member in society, like civilian. I don't get that. Why would they be they're working against you? Like, that's just like automatically setting you up for failure. Like, what? Don't you have to have a job to provide? Like,
and that's what they're doing. They're setting me up to fail because they want CPS to be able to TPR me. That's their whole fucking goal in this entire case.
Because what I don't understand is, and your situation, that is crazy, because what do they want? Like, you're not a teenager. You're not you're an adult. You got your own kids. Why would they want you to live off your parents or your family member? I don't get that. Because in a way, how do they think you're making it then, Vinny? Like, how are you making?
Thanks to my family and my sister and my brother-in-law and my mom and dad, I'm able to eat. But if I didn't have them, I would probably fucking starve.
Right. See, and that's what I don't get. Why it's like that right there is an automatic, like, it's like an automatic failure. Like, it's like, whoa. But why what makes it okay for them to try to, like, even if child support, like, say if you're behind on child support and they lock you up, you have to pay. You don't pay while you're sitting there. So who's going to be paying? Well, you're going to reach out to family or whoever you can. Why not work in different alternatives, like other ways, instead of just locking people up or just like what you got going on?
Why not incentivize adoption instead of, reunification instead of adoption?
Right. That's true.
Turn that around, it's a whole different game.
Right. And it's just, but it's like they make it look like it looks good, but really it's automatic failure. It's automatically set up to fail. Like, there's no room. It's like there's no room to win in these things, until you just exhaust yourself so much that it's just, and then by the time we learn anything, it's over. I mean, it's crazy, because they are. I mean, that's yeah, and it's just ridiculous. It's like, because I started taking these classes I wanted to learn the social workers. Like, I started taking college classes, and I'm just sitting here like, these people don't even go by like I didn't know there was a child defense fund or something like that these children are supposed to have access to, and even the kids in extended foster care are supposed to have access to, like, someone to represent them and stuff, and they don't. Like, my son is, the way I heard my son talk to me today, it was like a cry for help. You know what I mean? Like, mom, and I could hear it in his voice, and I'm telling you what, like, that right there just opened up a door that I don't think this place wanted. Like, what's like something's, and I found the person's picking on my son and everything, and this has been going on for, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Ask him out.
We got about 10 minutes left.
Okay, can
Oh, hold on, Vinny. We're gonna
I break in for a second? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I wanted to go into some other questions. Why can't we have jury trial? Wouldn't that be a question?
When do we get a jury trial? When does that happen?
A jury
Yeah, when does,
trial?
yeah, like a lot of
That's why
parents
I
don't even
have
get a jury trial. They're supposed to. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm bringing up questions that I want her to hear. That we just want to bring up questions that she can hear. So
how can they? How can they? How do
those questions?
What? Why do they think that they can provide false information on these court records or petitions to gain custody of these children, to keep these families apart, when all in reality, I thought that it was all about reuniting the families, not keeping them divided. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, if it's all about reunification, which in a majority of the time, everything I've researched, it's supposed to be, but they don't even go by their own child welfare manuals. I know the Georgia child welfare manual is like, that should be their Bible. That should be their right hand book. You know what I'm saying? Their go-to, and it's not. Like, there's things that, like, even under reasonable efforts, I mean, when my case could have been done with, and foster care would have never happened if they would have did what they were supposed to do. Like, I mean, there's too much room for error. And why do they think they can just, I just want to, I mean, really at the end of the day, you know what we need to ask her straight up is if has she ever done anything like to manipulate the system, you know? Right. Because the ones that can admit that, maybe, I mean, it's like, how can you have a heart? And the other thing is, does she have children herself? Because that's another thing. Half of these caseworkers don't have kids. They don't have kids. And, or they have some, like with my aunt, some mommy complex, like it entertains them to take kids away. Like that's their, I don't even, right. There you go. You said it for me, Darren. But it's like I mean, that's in a way that's sickening, but and it's just, it's disgusting. Just for anybody to think like that can work in a profession that is supposed to be about helping the community and the families, not hurting them. And how these upper officials can just look over it and just like ignore it. And like Georgia's bad about that right now. And I'm beginning to wonder if the governor's behind it with the director of DHS. Because, I mean, the numbers have like spiked crazy with foster care and them removing kids. Like, it's crazy. The numbers have gone up, and I thought we were supposed to be going down. So, but I mean, I hope she's ready, Herbert, to be asked a bunch of questions. Because, now I have talked to a caseworker up off of LinkedIn. She said she's all about, she's wanting to be the person that the stuff that the caseworkers don't tell us. She likes to be the one to, if a parent don't know, instead of, let me find the message from her. Hold on. But she wants to be the one to fill us in and help us get to where we, instead of chasing and finding out ourselves. She wants to be the one to fill us in on stuff that the caseworker is supposed to tell us and that the caseworkers don't tell us. And she's up in Virginia, and she's been really helpful with mine. And because when I wrote something about ICPC, and I thought that's what I was dealing with my kid, but then kind of find out I'm not. ICPC has no involvement with my 19-year-old son and him. Like, my whole thing it's a mess. Like, it's confusing.
So not to interrupt you, I gotta.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But I think everyone needs to hear this.
Okay.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired.
Jane, this is going to be my question to her right here. Okay. Hold on a second. Right here. This is what we're going to ask her.
I don't believe it. Why you lie?
Why you lie?
Why you talking all this shit about some shit you never did, boy? Why you lie?
Why you lie?
Why you talking all this shit when you ain't nothing but a bitch, boy? I heard that.
That's what we need to ask.
Hey, look, I'm surprised, like, with my case, the caseworker that was on it is no longer. I should have figured something when her LinkedIn page wasn't no more, but I have a new caseworker, and so something's been going on with the old one, which I figured that was coming. But there's just, even the guardian ad litem said that he has had to report the DFCS, the people that have been in my case, and he said he's not afraid to do it again. Well, my thing is what about him? He's not even doing his role as the guardian ad litem. Like,
hey, do you guys know what the finders are?
The finders?
Yeah.
I've heard of that. I just heard of that.
Okay, here's my question to your CPS person, Herbert. If someone stole your children from you, would you be nice to them? My answer to that is no. I will not be nice to a caseworker because you took my kids and kidnapped my kids unlawfully.
And they did take your kids. It is their decision. It is up to them. They are the ones who decide whether that kid stays or goes.
Right. And now, okay, let me ask this. If there was, there was a memorial for my mother that my aunt had, why was the psychiatrist for my son that I think it was for my daughter, but why would she be there? And the victim from my probation case? Tell me if that's not like setting up stuff, like starting stuff, you know? She had the victim that's on my probation case but I wasn't invited to my own mother's memorial, me or my brother, and the brother that I have in my care. And but yet my other brother was there and my dad wasn't, but the psychiatrist and the victim was at the memorial. Like, that right there is obviously, because I can guarantee the psychiatrist was there because she's the mandated reporter. I'm pretty sure.
And it goes all the same. Like, there's another report, they're saying that it's just CPS. No, I beg to differ, because it's not only CPS.
No, it's the mandated.
It's the state police and local police and the jails. Speaking of which, police and prison guards in Maine are committing abuse with terrifying impunity.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And this was at Cumberland County Jail.
Oh, right. That's, that system, the prison systems I mean, then you wonder how contraband gets in there, like.
Maine State Police violate civil constitutions of human rights of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
FBI investigation, Maine State Police cover up. And it goes on and on and on. And this is over years.
Yeah. I mean, they had a big thing in Georgia where the male prison guards, like, there was a warden that was sleeping with female prisoners. And it was crazy. And I mean, and they would, like, some of these people would be bringing in, like, the phones and the drugs and all kind. I mean, that's right there. It's all messed. I mean, it's all corrupt. Like, that's the most messed up system ever. I mean, I've seen some crazy things in prison and it's crazy.
There's actually a thing. It's called Kidnapped by Maine CPS. It's stated, it's on a YouTube channel. Social workers leave child to die duct taped to a basement for hours.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
How are these caseworkers getting away with committing murder to children? That's what I want to know.
How can they keep putting them with these predators and these pedophiles and shit? Like, I don't get that either. They did that in Georgia. They put a child with the pedophile, and he ended up trafficking her. Poor thing. But they just
hear me?
found a bunch of children.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, I was going to say to you, since you were mentioning Maine, I did tell her that the show is out of Maine, meaning, Darren's show in Maine. I said, do you know anything about the CPS up there in Maine? And she says, yeah, I know about a number of states. And one of the states she does know about is Maine. So you can ask her questions about Maine CPS system and what your dismay is about the Maine system.
Is she this lady gave me her phone number. This case, this one, she's this one that I was talking about, this caseworker is up in Virginia, and this, let me find the message that where's it at?
Like this one, okay. Maine CPS allowed murdered granny to rupture girl's organs, beat her head in. This is going on in Maine.
So just imagine wherever, like, my friend, it's crazy.
Well, what I'm saying is this lady's nice enough. I'm saying that this lady is nice enough to come on and answer some questions the best of her ability.
Yeah. Is she like is she interstate, or is she just one particular state? Like, because social workers now can cross state lines and take kids.
She's just with state, I think Kentucky. And
Kentucky, oh boy.
Yeah, but she knows about other states.
Because I did find out on LinkedIn.
And I asked Maine, she says, yes, I do know about Maine. So she knows about Maine. CPS.
Yeah, so Maine. So she does know a lot about Maine. I wonder if she knows because I mean every state's almost the same, but they just run it. It's all the same way, but it's just ran different ways. Like some, but really at the end of the day, they should be going by their own handbook, the Child Welfare Manual, in that state, and they don't.
They should be abiding by their policies and procedures.
Yeah, and there's a certain process, and they don't. They don't.
She also stated to me that actually, did you see how many times I called you, Vinny, today?
I didn't show up. My phone's been acting a little wonky today.
I called you several times because I was trying to put a conference call with her, you, me, and her, because I was going to get her on your show today.
Oh yeah, no, my phone didn't even pick up that you called me.
Yeah, I called you several times.
Block off thing.
I think it's because like somehow
I got mine in the mail. My SIM card.
I'm looking into a different phone, a different number, one that's not even listed.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because I called you about 3 times because I had her on the phone with me. I said, do you mind doing a conference call with me with the gentleman that's going to be running the show today? She said, sure. I put her on hold and I called you. I couldn't get you. I got off. I chit-chat with her for a while. Then I tried to call you back again. So I couldn't. And then I tried. I couldn't, it's hard to get Darren, but I got Darren later on. But it was already off the phone with her.
I mean,
I wanted her to be on your show tonight. That's what I wanted. And she was willing to come on tonight.
Well, we ought to see if we can get her on Monday night because then everyone's around.
Yeah,
and that's about
well,
really.
That's what I told her. I said it'd probably be better during the week because there'd be more people around. But the thing is, after this show, I'm going to take what we did. Now we're talking and let her listen to it. So she see how the show runs.
Well,
that was my objective.
We're at that time, guys, so we're going to do last words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, her name is Deborah Jackson. Her name is Deborah Jackson, by the way.
Oh, she related to Michael?
I'm sorry?
Right? Look, Michael
Not
Jackson.
related to Michael.
Look, I would have loved to meet him.
So Deborah
Robert related to
Jackson,
you?
I told her she doesn't have to show her face. We just
You
want to
just
hear
told
her
her name,
voice.
though. You're probably not supposed to tell her
You
name
just,
either.
No.
I just said her name is Deborah Jackson.
No, don't, Herbert. He said you're not supposed to say her name.
You're probably
Don't.
not supposed to say her name.
I never
Yeah,
said
don't
that
say.
was her real name, did I? I never said that was her real name, did I?
Okay.
I just
You're
said her
right.
name is Deborah Jackson.
Okay.
That's all I said.
Okay.
All right,
Good,
so
good.
last words,
Okay.
Herbert?
Yeah, stay out of radar, stay off the list. Try to avoid being a target of CPS and take care of your children.
Good one. Danielle?
I say keep fighting and don't give up and stand with other parents. I mean, help them. Let's help the parents that are struggling, that are weak in this area, because there's a lot of them that's why a lot of them won't stand up and fight them like we will. I mean, they're not as strong as us, and I wish a lot more parents would step up. But just don't give up, because you're not alone in this. I'll tell you that much. You're not alone, and we will win. We will win this battle.
Terry?
So.
Yes.
Last word.
Why you talking all this shit about some shit you never did, boy? Why you lie? Why you talking all this shit when you ain't nothing but a bitch, boy? I heard that you the man. I heard.
All right, that's my last words.
All right, and my last words are this. Be safe over the weekend. Remember, tomorrow night is the Tip and Punisher show. So everyone, please tune in for that. Stay safe out there. Remember, you don't have to let CPS in your door without a warrant or court order.
Right.
So until the next show, you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Stay safe and God bless. We are out of here.
Bye. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.